Hello everyone, I am the Sports Wiz 101, and today I'll be giving you my predictions for week 17 of the NFL season. I'll take a look at all of these matchups set to take place this week, and I'll be giving you my predictions. I'll be telling you who I think makes the playoffs in this week, who I think gets eliminated, and who I think will have an uncertain fate going into the last week of the regular season. Let's start with the AFC matchups. Chiefs and Bengals. This is a huge one. And this is going to be a great one. Kansas City, with a win and a Titan loss, locks up home field throughout the AFC playoffs. The Bengals, meanwhile, with a win, would lock up the AFC North. And that's something I think the Bengals deserve. I think they're the best team in that division. Here, I'll take the team that's been here before. I'll take the team that has the better quarterback. And I'll take the team that has the better head coach. And I believe all of those facts are true about the Chiefs. So I'll take my Chiefs to beat the Bengals in Cincinnati in a good game to watch. Perhaps a playoff preview, too. Who knows? Next up, we got the Raiders and the Colts. Vegas and Indy going at it in Indy. Raiders could be eliminated with a loss. The Colts can lock up a playoff spot with a win. These two teams are going in opposite directions, really, and I expect that trend to continue, which means the Colts are going to beat the Raiders. Next matchup is my lock of the week. I'm taking New England over Jacksonville. I just don't see how Bill Belichick would allow his team to be on the losing end of a matchup with the worst team in the NFL, especially at home. So give me New England in that one. Next matchup is Miami and Tennessee. Now, Miami's on a 7-game win streak, and let's take a look at who Miami has played on that win streak. They got a home with Houston, home with Baltimore, at the Jets, home with Carolina, home with the Giants, bye, and then home with the Jets at New Orleans. I noticed one trend about that. Those are all teams that would prefer to run the ball down your throat. The Titans are also a team that prefer to run the ball down your throat. Now looking at the Dolphins over the season, there's a couple of stats that I found there as well. When they're taking on teams in the top half of the league in passing yards per game, Miami is 1-5. That one win, by the way, came against Baltimore. Meanwhile, when they're taking teams in the bottom half of the league in that stat, they're 7-2. The Titans are a team that falls in the bottom half of the league in passing yards per game. And I think those trends will continue. I'm taking the upset. I'm taking Miami to beat the Titans in Nashville. Miami will continue to control their own destiny for the playoffs. A huge matchup will then loom next week when they host the Patriots. Next up, we got the Broncos and the Chargers. Give me the Chargers here. I think Justin Herbert and company, not too happy with how they performed last Sunday against the Texans. I think they take out those frustrations on their rival Broncos. And I think the Chargers win this game. Justin Herbert has a big one, and it knocks Denver out of the postseason, while keeping the Chargers' postseason hopes alive. The next one is a huge one, Monday Night Football. This is effectively an elimination game. Browns, Steelers, who do I think wins? I think these two are pretty similar teams when it comes to their offense. But I'll take the better defense in this one, and I believe that defense belongs to the Steelers, which means I believe that Pittsburgh will knock Cleveland out of the AFC North race. Not only that, but this would also knock Cleveland out of the playoff race. So Pittsburgh would make sure that Cleveland does not go to the playoffs 2 years in a row. Moving on to the interconference matchups. Falcons and Bills. Buffalo can lock up a playoff spot here with a win. Atlanta will be eliminated if they lose this game. And I think that does happen. I think the Bills beat the Falcons here. I think the Bills are simply just playing a level of football that is too much for Atlanta to get to. I think the Bills, in their sleep, would play better football than the Falcons right now. Moving on, I got the Rams and the Ravens. Rams can lock up the West if they win and the Cardinals lose. The Ravens, meanwhile, there's a bunch of convoluted scenarios that would result in the Ravens' elimination from the playoffs. And just about all of them that I saw involve the Ravens losing this game. If they win, they keep their playoff hopes alive. But I don't see that happening. I think the Rams take a step forward towards locking up the NFC West. The only division in the NFC that hasn't been locked up yet. Baltimore does keep it competitive. It is their playoff hopes on the line after all. But in the end, it's too much Rams, too much Matthew Stafford, and that allows the Rams to win that game. Bucks go to New York to play the Jets. The Bucks may be really injured, but this is not a game you need to think about too hard. It's going to be Tampa Bay leaving with the win over the Jets. And I followed up with another game that shouldn't be too hard to pick. I'll take the 49ers over the Texans. Moving on to the NFC games. Giants-Bears. This is not going to be a game I lose too much sleep over. I'll take Chicago to win this game. I still think the Bears have a better defense than the Giants. And that's going to allow Chicago to win there. Moving on, the Eagles and Washington. Going at in Washington. It's my upset of the week. Washington wins this game. Washington is fighting for their playoff hopes in this one. If the football team loses this game, they are eliminated from playoff contention. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, they can lock up a playoff spot. I obviously don't see that happening. I like Washington. They will not be happy at all with how they played last Sunday in that blowout loss to the Cowboys. They'll take out those frustrations on the Eagles. And they will try everything in their power to keep their playoff hopes alive. Next up, Panthers Saints. Two teams that have uncertainty at quarterback. But one of these teams still has their star running back. And I'll take that team. I'll take the Saints, who still have Alvin Kamara, unlike the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey. Lions Seahawks, another game that like Giants Bears, not a game I'll be losing too much sleep over. Two teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. Seahawks have just been a big old disappointment this year. I'll still take them to beat the Lions, but Detroit does at least manage to keep it close. It'll be a Russell Wilson touchdown drive like a minute to play that gives Seattle the win. Okay, then we got the marquee matchup of the NFC. Cardinals and Cowboys. In this one, I'll take the Cowboys to win. Cowboys will still be in the race for home field. Meanwhile, with the Cardinals, they'll be knocked out of the NFC West title race. The reason I've got the Cowboys here is because the Cardinals have tended to struggle against teams that can run the ball. Dallas, sure, they're not a team that would love to pound the football down your throat every other play, but they're still a team that can run the ball if you let them. Dallas wins this game thanks to Zeke and thanks to Pollard. Then we have Sunday Night Football. It's the Vikings and the Packers going at it. Minnesota can be eliminated from the playoffs if they lose this game, though if all my predictions are correct, that will not happen. Green Bay can lock up home field in the NFC. Granted, they would need the Cowboys to lose in order for that scenario to become a reality. Here I like the Packers. I just don't think you're going to go to Lambeau Field this late in the regular season and beat the Packers. So there you go. There's my picks for Week 17 of the NFL season. Hopefully we do better than last week's 12-4 record. Now, if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more to come in the coming weeks. I've been SportsWiz 101, and I will see you all later.